Ladies and gentlemen, the NFL playoff bracket is set. And we're going through and predicting, as always, who I think is going to be winning and losing each matchup. We actually predicted, who would have thought? Week 18, the hardest week of slates to predict. We got almost every single game right. Of course, that's going to happen to us, right? The final week. So our record on the season was pretty dang good. Hope you enjoyed the entire weekly prediction series. Comes to an end. We head into the playoffs. Guess what, man? The first matchup of the playoffs is an NFC North battle of giants. The Green Bay Packers take on the Chicago Bears. The Bears, they clinch the 2 seed because the Eagles rested their starters. Scratch your head. I'm scratching mine. Didn't make much sense to me because I'd much rather be playing the Packers than the NFC West opponent, the Eagles, they chose to face, right? But the Green Bay Packers, it's not looking great, right? Like the Packers, they most recently faced the Chicago Bears and they lost in overtime. It was 22-16. Caleb Williams, fourth quarter masterclass. Previously, that was December 20th. Previously on December 7th-ish, around that date, the Packers actually beat the Bears by 1 touchdown, 28-21. So it was a close 2 one-possession games that these two teams already played earlier on in the season. And can we expect the same? Well, the Bears are limping into the playoffs. They're a little bit healthier, I would say, than Green Bay overall, but the momentum is not on their side. Back-to-back losses for the Chicago Bears team. They just lost this one they were trying to win this game, and the Lions beat them 19-16, made Caleb Williams look bad. The Bears mollywopped them, 42 points on your head, and destroyed the Bears, but the offense looked good. That was the previous week. So their most recent win, that was the last 2 games loss. Most recent win 3 weeks ago was against Green Bay in Chicago. Obviously, as the 2 seed, the Chicago Bears have home field advantage here. They come in as 1.5 point, not dogs, favorites at home. Which really, when you factor in, usually the home team gets a couple points. It's truly 50-50 on the spread with the points. Now, I've been doubting the Chicago Bears all season long. They're one of those teams where when I pick them, the opposite effect always takes place. There's a couple of those teams. The Falcons are one of them. The Panthers are one of them, which we'll get to the Panthers here soon. 10.5 point dogs, by the way. But the Chicago Bears, I believe at home, it's a new era, the Ben Johnson era. The Bears, I was going to say they run the NFC North, but the Lions just destroyed them 19-16. It was a close game. Bears really fumbled it, man. The Bears didn't start trying until the fourth quarter. They were shut out the entire 3 quarters of the way in. I'm going with the Bears right here at home to start things off. Next matchup we'll take a look at is going to be the 49ers traveling to Philly to take on the Eagles. 49ers better record, Eagles home team here. What's going to be important is the 49ers health situation. The Eagles, almost everybody the Eagles need are going to be healthy. They just had a bye week, and, while the Seattle Seahawks have a bye week, the Eagles just had their bye week. All of the important starters were rested. I don't necessarily know if that's a good thing or not because the way Patullo has been, coaching the offense, the Eagles offense is, listen, the last time we saw the Eagles starters in play, they got 17 yards in the second half against the Bills. Personally, that's not a momentum train I would have liked to keep rolling, but hey, you're going to make the decision you're going to make. The Eagles' most recent games, they beat the Bills 13-12. They beat the Commanders 29-18. Beat the Raiders 31-0. Doesn't even count. Lost to the Chargers. So their most recent games, they haven't necessarily been beating the good teams except for the Bills, where the offense completely stunk up the entire place, but the defense held the Buffalo Bills' very good offense to a measly, 12 points in that game. 49ers, they just lost to the Seahawks 13-3. The Seahawks defense is elite, but so is Philly's. So if we compare the Seahawks and Eagles defense, the 49ers just got held to 3 points. So this Eagles defense could control this game. The 49ers offense did pop off for 42 the week prior against a worse Bears secondary. 49ers also put up 48 on the Colts' head. So the 49ers have been scoring points, man. Listen to these games since November 30th. 26 points against the Browns, 37 against the Titans, 48 versus the Colts, 42 versus the Bears, 3 versus Seattle's stellar defense. This is a very close game, a very tough one to predict. The spread for this game is too wide in my eyes. The Eagles are at home. A very tough place to play in the playoffs. 3.5-point favorites here for Philly. I'm going with Philly. If I walked over into my vent don't ask me why it's at the vent in my room, but there's an Eagles helmet, right? So it's a little bit of bias here, but I do think that it's such a tough environment to play, and as bad as the Eagles offense is, I'm giving the nod to San Fran's offense. Like, skill-wise, the Eagles offense is better. Don't care. I'm not brainwashed. They've been playing terrible. But I do think the Eagles defense can control this game. It's going to be a lot closer than people expect. Give me the Niners with the points, honestly. I think it's a better bet. 3.5 is too wide, but I'm going Eagles money line. Final game in the NFC, because the Seahawks have the week off. We have a Rams versus Panthers rematch. Yes, rematch. You might not be remembering this, but these teams already played. Panthers, 31. Rams, 28. This was November 30th. Not even too recent ago, right? If we look at the stats in this game, Stafford, 240 yards, 2 tutties, 2 interceptions. Got to control the turnover battle. Can't be doing that. Devontae Adams, 2 touchdowns in that game, but only 58 yards. Puka was 6 for 72. Kind of contained him, to be honest. Kyron Williams, Chuba Hubbard and Dowdle had 140 rushing yards that game. Coker, McMillan, Hubbard all had receiving touchdowns. So the Rams defense, I think the Rams defense is underrated, but they played bad versus the Panthers when they played last. Now, I'm going with the Rams in this game. The spread is wild for a playoff game. Rams by 10.5. No. I mean, yes, yeah, honestly, I could see it. But I'm going with the Rams. Probably not touching the spread, though. Heading over to the AFC, let's go with the Pats and Chargers. Everyone's been saying that the Patriots have been playing Mickey Mouse opponents all season long. They come into this game as 3.5-point favorites. And honestly, the way Drake May is playing football, I don't know how I can pick against them. Now, the entire AFC bracket feels like a trap. You know, the Packers and Bears, it's 50-50. The Eagles and Niners, I would lean in Philly's favor, and the Rams are going to beat the Panthers. Now, when we get to the AFC, it feels like any of these games can be the trap of the week. The Patriots should win this game. I mean, the Patriots defense, I think, has been playing well, too. And the Chargers have had games where they just haven't been able to move the football, in my opinion. Like, this offense has been volatile. The Texans' top-tier defense held the Chargers to 16 points most recently. The Chargers only put up 16 points against the Chiefs back on December 14th. Put up 22 versus the Eagles, but that was an overtime game as well. So they haven't been scoring a lot of points compared to the New England Patriots, who have been putting up a lot of points. So give me the Patriots here by 3.5, a bit too risky. Buffalo Bills and Jacksonville Jaguars. Again, feels like a trap. The brain says, let's go Bills, the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, hoorah rah. But that means Vegas is going to want the Bills to lose. I bet the Bills are going to be more bet on, bigger market team than the Jacksonville Jaguars. So the Jaguars come in here as 1.5-point dogs at home, mind you. This also feels very, very tricky. Like, I'm tempted to say, listen, as good as the Buffalo Bills are, and the Bills, they just had a bye week because Josh Allen didn't even play, right? He started, but he didn't play. The Jags looked good, man. Like, the Jags haven't lost. Oh, my goodness. They haven't lost since November 9th against the Texans in a one-score game. Listen to this. November 16th and on. Jaguars 35-6 over the Chargers. 27-24 over the Cardinals. 25-3 Titans. 36-19 Colts. 48-20 Jets. 34-20 Broncos, December 21st. 23-17 Colts, 41-7 Titans. A lot of Mickey Mouse AFC South opponents in there. And then their most recent big win was the Broncos, who they kind of mollywop. This is another big game. What can Jacksonville do? It's at home. And honestly, the thing that I just saw with the Jacksonville Jaguars, they are hot. They have the momentum. Start it. Start barking. Let's go. Give me the Jaguars. You think we're going with favorites all the way out? Give me the Jags. To win, not cover the one, win against Buffalo. It seems crazy. It's probably going to be crazy because it's going to be rigged for Josh Allen, but give me the Jags. Let's go. Don't overthink it. Now, the final game of the week is not set. I'm actually recording this during Sunday Night Football. Looks like the Ravens are up 10-3 over the Steelers. Steelers aren't looking good from when I'm watching the game. So let's just say the Ravens are in for now. We'll see what happens. If the Steelers are in, I actually like the Texans more. I think the Ravens would give the Texans a harder time in this matchup. Let me set the spread. The spread for this game is I'm going to go with, if the Ravens face the Texans, Texans are probably 1.5-point favorites. If the Steelers face the Texans, Texans are probably 3.5-point favorites. If it is the Baltimore Ravens, I think it's going to be a very interesting game. The dynamic of this game is going to come down to what can Lamar Jackson and the Ravens offense do versus the Texans' stellar defense. Nico Collins just had a bye week. The Texans' offense, I think, is overrated. I'm going to say I don't think they put up enough points. I think the way that the Browns team, the way that they've been winning games right now with Shedeur, where the defense just carries and the Browns' offense does nothing, that's kind of what the Texans' offense reminds me of. But obviously better. Like, they can put up points. They do have pieces. The run game, Woody Marks just ain't efficient enough in my eyes. The Texans' defense is too good right here. I think the Texans win, but, betting against the Bills and Ravens, it feels crazy. So don't be surprised if the Ravens win. Don't be surprised if the Bills win. That is my predictions for the playoffs of Wild Card Weekend. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thanks for watching, boys. See you, boys. Conference? Divisional? See you, boys, Divisional Weekend.